Good morning, students. Welcome to your computer class. In the previous class, we had discussed about brush tool, pencil tool, eyedropper tool, and also seen the use of clone tool. So today we will see some more tools in Photoshop that you can use to make your image impressive and creative, okay, which looks beautiful. You can do the formatting in your images. So let's start and coming to the textbook. As you can see here, the brush tool you have seen, okay, with the help of brush tool, what you can do, you can paint your foreground and background of the picture. The steps used is the brush tool, foreground color icon to select the color to the paint width, and then down arrow of the brush. Select the brush size and type from the menu that appears. You need to be a bit careful while using the brush tool, as it can fill those areas also where color is not needed. Okay, where you don't want the color, there also they can just draw if you will not careful, because if your brush lacks from the image, it will draw or color the different area. Click and drag to apply the foreground color to the image. Type the percentage value in the opacity, okay, which you will see in the window. Now click and drag to apply the semi-transparent brush. Okay, so this you have seen here, the opacity. Okay, here you can see the opacity. Okay, here you will see the images. I'm just using Ctrl Alt Z. It is not showing. Okay, see the picture. Okay, here. So with the brush tool, see, we have just selected the brush tool. Okay, here you can see brush tool. Okay, here the different brush sizes are there. I'm selecting this one. Diameter little bit more. Okay, opacity will be, I think, 42%. Okay, mode will be, you can take any, lighten, dodge, overlay. Okay, lighten. Okay, select the foreground color. Foreground color, you can take a little blue color. Okay, this one. Okay, now if you want this, see, lighten. Okay, with the brush tool you are doing. Okay, see this one. How much you can just drag that area, that will be light and blue. Okay, this is the work of a brush tool. If we talk about the pencil tool, what happened then? Pencil tool is used to draw straight lines of color in Photoshop. Okay, these are used to draw the straight lines of different colors in Photoshop. The steps to use the pencil tool are as follows. Click and hold the brush tool. From the toolbox, a box appears. Select the pencil tool from the box and then click on the foreground color icon to select and draw with. Okay, to select and draw with. Click on the down arrow button of brush and select a brush size and type. Then you can just draw your image. Click and drag to use pencil tool in the image. Draw straight lines. Press and hold shift key from the keyboard for drawing straight lines. Then click on several places inside your image without dragging. Photoshop draw straight lines. Let's see it happens or not. From here you will selecting what? Pencil tool. Okay, I have selected pencil tool. Now here you can just take, okay, size. This one mode will be normal or as you want. Opacity 100%. Now if you want to draw, so shift, then shift, then shift, now then shift. See here, see it is not a straight, but as you click the shift button, see it's going straight. Okay, see, okay, release and then click, release and then click, release and then click, okay, release and then click, release, release, release. Here you also release, then release. Okay, this you can do. You can draw while pressing the shift key. With the pencil tool you can choose the brush effect. If you want small, then there is a light pen also. See, this depend on you what brush you choose. Okay, let me see that. Okay, coming back to the textbook. Now using paint bucket tool. So now paint bucket tool, an area can be filled in your image with solid color using the paint bucket tool. Click and hold the gradient tool. Okay. Click the paint bucket tool in the box that appears and click on the foreground color to select a color for painting. Now paint bucket tool will affect only adjacent pixels in the image. Type a tolerance from 0 to 255. Then tolerance depends on what range of colors the paint bucket affects in the image when applied. Click inside the image. Photoshop fills an area of the image, the foreground. Like as here, you can see I am taking some another picture also. Not this one. Okay, this picture. Now there are, okay, here I have selected already paint bucket. This is gradient tool, paint bucket tool I have selected. Then foreground color. Okay, foreground color I am taking little bit this one. Okay, and for background, here it is white I am telling, so I am just using this one. Little bit this. You can say here this one. Okay, if we talk about the tolerance is 32. I am making it 50. Okay, opacity 100%. I am making 63. It is for foreground or background. Okay, foreground. Okay, now paint bucket tool, I had click on the plane area. See the color which I had selected. Okay, so in the background what happens? It changed. Now if for here, if I choose a different color, then you can choose from here again foreground, take a little bit green and this color. Okay, click here, here, here as the area we have selected. Okay, here and here. So means the tiers also of the same color. Okay, see how easily I am doing. I am selecting the area where just in paintbrush you do. Okay, now for this, if you take a foreground, okay, this color, See how the color of the t-shirt changed. Okay, then I will take this color to little bit reddish. Now I will click on this. See, because only foreground is changing. Now here if foreground I will just take pattern. Now different patterns are there. I will just take my pick. Okay, let it comes or not. See what happens. Mine image has came. Okay, for patterns, different pattern you can see. The area where I will click, it will change the patterns. Okay, now image went. Okay, so by this way you can do. Now next you can see the brightness and contrast to adjust the highlight shadows of your image. So how will you adjust the brightness and contrast of your image? So click on image, click on adjustments, click on brightness, contrast, and then a dialog box will appear. To lighten the image, click and drag the brightness, slide it to the right or darken the image then left. To increase the contrast, click on drag the contrast slider to the right and decrease the contrast, drag it to the left and then press OK. Only this much. So you have to see from which option you will get it. Okay. Now for the color balance utility Photoshop, to change the amount of specific color in your image, image adjustment and color balance. Okay. Then select one of the radio button, also in tone balance in the image that you want to edit. So first of all, let's see the brightness of the image. Okay, so in layers or selection you will, there are color range also. Here I am getting windows. I think in the image only I will get it. Okay, adjustments, in the adjustment brightness and contrast. Here you can just drag to increase the brightness or you can say darkness. Okay, so I am taking a little bit more. Now contrast, lower. Okay, you can see the changes over here. Okay, little more. Okay, now you can see in the adjustments, here it is given color balance. Just keep here and see. Bluish or just little bit come magenta. Okay, the color balance you can see. Tone balance, mid tone, highlights, shadows. If you see the shadows, highlights, magenta little bit low. Okay, so this you can perform. See, I change the things. Now dodge and burn effect. Okay, will be the next one. The color balance on the dodge and direct effect. You can use the dodge tool to lighten a specific area of an image. To lighten up the specific area of an image. So dodge is a photographic term that describes the diffusing of light when developing a negative film. You can use the burn tool to darken a specific area of the image. Means dodge is used to lighten the specific area of an image and burn tool is used to darken a specific area of an image. So burn is a photographic term that describes the focusing of light when the developing a film negative. So dodge effect, click on dodge tool. Okay, click on the down arrow brush, choose the brush size and type you would like. You can also select the range of colors you want to affect. Click and drag over the area that you want to lighten. The impact can be observed on the dragged area. Photoshop lightens the area. And if you use the dodge burn tool, then it will be darker. Okay, This is the dodge tool. Okay, sorry, this one. Okay, burn tool is there, so dodge tool. Select the brush, this one. Now what you have to do, if you want to lighten this area, okay, or this area, already it is lightened up. Okay, so I'm just closing it, this one. Okay, see, I'm just taking the more radius of the brush. Okay, see, it is lightening the image. The dodge tool is used to lighten up the image. See, okay, it has lightened up. Now if I use a burn tool, then what happened? Burn tool, diameter little bit more, then see the difference. It is used for darken. Okay, or darken the image. Now there is no lightning effect. Okay, so for darken the image you use the burn tool. Now I think you can easily make a difference in both dodge and burn tool. So easily you can do and change the effect in the pictures. Hope you have got this easily. Now you can use blur or sharpen tool on the specific area your image. This enables you to emphasis on the dim faces on the objects. You can click an image menu and auto tone. This convert the lightest pixels in the image to white and the darkest pixel to black. This command is similar to the auto contrast. Now if we talk about the layers in Photoshop, you can separate the elements in your image so that you can move and transform them independently of one another. You can accomplish this by placing them in different layers. Photoshop image can consist of multiple layers. As I already told you that it works on layers, which each layer containing different objects in the image. When you open a digital camera photo, newly scanned image in Photoshop, it exists as a single layer. It's known as the background layer. You can add a new layers on the top of the background layer as you work. As you are working, so that you just can take a duplicate layer also for the photo. So means your previous image doesn't get affected. It will be same as it is, and you will get a new image. If you work on a duplicate layer, the layered Photoshop files act like several images combined into one. You can just work on different layers and then combine them. Its own set of pixels that you can move and transform independently of the pixels of other layers. Most commands affect only the layer that you select. If you click and drag with the move tool, then the selected layer moves while the other layers stay in place. Okay, on which layer you are working, that layer will only work. You can combine, duplicate and hide layers in an image as well as shuffle them order. You can just make the top order to the last one and the last one to the top or in between. That one you can do. You can combine all the layers and finish the picture editing. You can also duplicate. Yes, of course, make a duplicate copy of that and just work on that so that your previous image does not get destroyed. Okay, if you want that image to be same as it is, then you can use the duplicate layer. As if I want to do the editing, I will just take the duplicate of this. Okay, here you will get duplicate name layer. Okay, just give 1 2 3. See, duplicate layer has been created. Okay, you will be able to see the two pictures, this one and this one, 1 2 3. Okay, see the names. This is 1 2 3 and this is the original. If I will do the editing on this picture, then nothing will affect on this picture. Okay, when I will just combine both of them, then only the changes will happen. I hope clear to you all. So this is about the layers in Photoshop. Now filters. Okay, filters in Photoshop. With Photoshop filters, you can quickly and easily apply enhancements to your image, including artistic effects, textures, effects and distortions. These things you can do with the filter option. Filter is what? The option which you want will be displayed. Select by your choice. So filters can help you to correct defects in your image and enable you to turn a photograph into something that resembles an impressionist painting. So Photoshop comes with many filters. You can use the artistic filters to make your image looks as though it was created with a paintbrush. Okay, as though it has created with a paintbrush. Blur filters reduce the amount of details in your image. So remember, blur filter, the use of blur filter is that it reduces the amount of details. Of course, the background image, if something is written and you are just doing the blur, using the blur effect, then the image or the writing something in that image will be getting blur slowly and you can't able to read that thing. Okay. Distort filter stretch and squeezes areas of your image. It starts stretching the areas of your images. Then noise menu adds or removes graininess. It can be useful to apply an abstract texture to a scene, whatever texture you want. Okay, so this is the work of the filter. Now, saving a Photoshop image. How will you save it? You can save your image in Photoshop native image format. This format enables you to retain multiple layers in your image. So this helps you to retain the multiple images, multiple layers in your image. So if it has those layers, the steps to save the image are as follows. Click on File menu. Then the File menu will appear. Click on Save. If the files has not yet to be named and saved, Save the dialog box appears. If the file has yet to be named and saved, the Save As dialog box will appear. Click down the arrow button and choose a folder in which you want to save the image file. Okay. In which folder you want to save that file, click there and name the image file. Photoshop automatically assigns .psd extension. If you are saving a Photoshop image or Photoshop file, then it automatically shows you the extension .psd. Then next, click the down arrow button and select the Photoshop file format. Or if you want to save the file in other format, example JPEG, if you would like to save a copy of the file and keep the existing file open, then click on the checkbox as a copy. If you would like to save a copy of the file, keep the existing file open, then click the checkbox as a copy. If you would like to merge the multiple layers of your image into one layer, click on layers checkbox, okay, and then click on save. So here students, your chapter is completed. Till now what you have learned, so please practice it, go through it, do the practicals in your system. If you are having, I told you that you can get a Photoshop from the Google. Try to do them, try to just format them, the images which you choose from your desktop, from your files, because if you will not practice it, if you will not do that, you can't able to get it, because learning is a different process and doing practical is a different process. If you see, if I will not do the practical, how will I know the effect? While reading in the book, only you just see the effects which are shown over here. Okay, simply you just watching it. Okay, you know, okay, it lightens up. Does it lighten all the pictures? So what you have to do, first you will do the practicals of this. Okay, I will choose a picture and then select this option and do the lightning process and see with my original eyes. Okay, means not the original eyes doesn't means all of you are having original eyes, but you will see that this effect is working like this. Okay, now if you see the self evaluation, I know that Photoshop allows us to create, modify, combine and optimize digital images. Yes, that's true. I know that Photoshop tools let us to move color and elements to our image. That is also true. I know that a foreground color helps to paint, fill and strike selection. The foreground color always helps to paint and fill the strike selection, and the background color helps to fill the erased areas of an image, the areas which are erased. I know that we can select a rectangular elliptical area of an image by using the marquee tool. Of course, you can choose. I know that eyedropper tools enable us to paint using a color already present in our image by selecting a color from it. Yes, this is the work of eyedropper tool. It is used to select the color from the image which is present over there. I know that we can adjust the highlights and shadows of our image by brightness and contrast command. In the image menu, the adjust option, you can do that brightness and contrast. I know that we can change the amount of specific colors in our image by the colors balance mode. Of course, we can change this with that option. The the magnetic lasso tool is used to select elements of our image that have well-defined edges. True. And I know that the burn tool is used to darken the specific area of an image. Just now we had seen. Okay. Now coming to the exercise, take the correct answer. First one, Photoshop is developed under. So Photoshop is under means developed under which company? I already told you that the option is what? Adobe. Okay, this one is the answer. Digital images in Photoshop are made. Digital images in Photoshop are made up of tiny solid square called, not the dots, in computer or in the drawing effect is called the pixels. Okay. Now, next is it can be used to change the size of an image. Which one is used to change the size of an image? Not at the image you are talking about, that image you are changing the size of that changes the screen size and the canvas size, but changing the size of an image, that is your crop tool. Okay. Now it can be used to copy the information from one area of an image to another. Copy information from one area to another. So it is clone stamp tool. Okay. To darken the specific area of an image, just now we had read burn tool. What is the use of dodge? Lightens up. It can be used to select a color from an open image. Very good. From an open image, how will you select? Clone tool doesn't select that. Crop tool doesn't select that. Eyedropper tool. Okay, eyedropper tool is used to select the color from an open image. So this we have completed. I am again repeating the answers. First one is Adobe. Second one is Pixels. Third one is Crop tool. Fourth one is Clone stamp tool. Fifth one is your burn tool. And last one is your eyedropper tool. Okay. So now next we are having fill in the blanks with us and question answers. That we will see in the next class, and we will complete the chapters, and I hope we will be doing some practicals also with that. I will show you while using all the tools on a one place, and you will just edit one picture and make it attractive. Okay. Hope that will be helpful to you, and also you will enjoy it while practicing it. Okay, and this is a very good topic, Photoshop. If you practice it, that will be more, means you can say a entertainment one. And the software, you can do editing and make your pictures impressive. While copy pasting, you can just make yourself standing around some places, or you can join your pics to the another pic with some persons. Okay, these all things you can do in Photoshop. Okay, so we will be seeing it. Till then, thank you.